Oh my God. So I'm just going live real quick to break some news, and we got some news right now. Y'all come through. Let me put myself on mute 1 second, you guys. Whoo, we got some breaking news. Breaking news, breaking news right now. Let me show you what I'm talking about, guys. Breaking news. Look at this. Look at this. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hold up. Let me make sure that I got everything. My internet is so slow. Welcome, everybody. We got some breaking news. Do I have everybody here in the house? Let me know if you're here. Shout out to everybody. I'm reading this. I want to make sure that I understand correctly what is happening right now. Give me 1 sec, guys. This is wow. Now, I knew that something was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to happen real quick. Give me 1 sec, y'all. This is didn't I say? Didn't I we all called it, right? Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I got other stuff going on. Rabbit, let me tell you, dismiss with prejudice, meaning they can't come back and refile charges. It's over. He's free and clear. Dismiss. Dismiss. Okay? Everybody, we just talked about Alec Baldwin right now, you guys. What happened? No, no, no. Everybody, this is breaking news, you guys. Breaking news. So, this is interesting. And let me make sure this won't be a long live. I promise y'all. This is crazy. So, we just went live on this. Like, we just went live on this. Judge in Alec Baldwin involuntary manslaughter trial dismisses case. Okay, so Judge Mary Marlowe Sommer agreed the prosecution had suppressed evidence and the trial could not continue. So Alec Baldwin at First Judicial District Court on June 11th in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Santa Fe, New Mexico, in a stunning turn of events, the judge in the Alec Baldwin involuntary manslaughter case. Sorry, my phone is ringing, y'all. Dismissed the case Friday, siding with the defense attorney who argued that prosecutors hid evidence about ammunition that may be linked to the fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchinson on the set of the Western movie Rust in 2021. They hid evidence. The sanction of dismissal is the only warranted remedy. Oh my God. What did we just not talk? Oh my God, y'all. Did we and I had my little bun up because I'm over here, doing the hair and everything. Did we not just talk about this? Did we not we just went live about this. Jill, thank you for gifting a membership. Shout out to Jill. If you guys got a membership from Jill, please put a heart in the chat. Please and thank you, Jill. You are so awesome. Thank you for supporting my channel. All right. I'd like to know where's everybody at? Sabrina, like tell me. Oh my God. It is. You say knew he was innocent. Innocent of what? I don't think it's been proven that he's innocent of anything. They just dismissed it on a technicality, I guess. I don't think that that's necessarily innocent. This is insanity, but I'm not surprised. Didn't we just say we went live? You said I completely agree with this. I mean, if they're hiding evidence, I agree. Like don't take me to trial. Don't take me to trial. But I don't think he's innocent just because he's been. This is they dismiss the case doesn't mean that he's innocent. Okay, just so everybody's aware. Alec is free. Alec is not going to be retried anymore. Alec can go about his TLC reality TV show with Helena. Or not Helena, I'm sorry, with Hilaria. Oh my God, Helena's the victim. Sorry. Hilaria, the H and the H confused me. Yes, he killed someone regardless of the outcome of the case. How to get away with murder, honestly. I don't like that is crazy. That is crazy. Like he wanted to shoot a gun with live rounds and to take a mother away from the little boy. I mean, like I said, I think it was an accident, but I just it's too much. Yeah, Hilaria is hilarious. That's right. No, that's fine. I understand. I because he wasn't charged, but regardless, I understand what you guys are saying. The prosecutor put himself on the stand, y'all. Innocent or guilty is not part of it. The state fucked up so bad that Alec will never be retried. He fired a gun and killed someone, and he walks. Rich people privilege. Oh my gosh. Yes, we kind of knew. I knew nothing was going to happen to Alec. He works for Hollywood and the elites. And maybe this was planned. This is, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. In the legal area, a case that gets dismissed with prejudice means it has been permanently dismissed no matter the circumstance. Yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little like I knew we were gonna, I just didn't think it was gonna happen so quick. So, anyways, so here we go. So Santa Fe, New Mexico, in a stunning turn of events, the judge of Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter trial dismissed the case Friday, siding with defense attorneys who argue that prosecutors hid evidence about ammunition that may be linked to the fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchinson on the set of the Western movie Rust. The sanction of dismissal is the only warranted remedy. This is what the judge said. Baldwin, 66, sobbed and put his head in his hands as the judge announced her decision. Baldwin could have been sentenced up to 18 months in prison if the jurors had unanimously agreed he committed the felony. The actor was rehearsing a scene at the Bonanza Creek Ranch in Santa Fe on October 21st, 2021, when the prop revolver he was holding went off. Well, I don't know if it went off. Okay. Killing Hutchinson at 42 and wounding director Joel Sousa. Is it Sousa or Souse? Souse? Know how to say his last name. The 66-year-old actor had pleaded not guilty. He claims that he was not aware that the revolver contained a live round and that it was discharged accidentally after he followed instructions to point it towards Hutchinson. Baldwin's lawyers asserted that Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office took possession of the live round of ammunition as evidence, but did not record them in the official case or revealed their existence to the actor's defense. So Marissa, a sheriff's office crime scene technician who testified this week, claimed that the rounds were hidden from Baldwin's lawyers and pushed back on Baldwin's lawyers, Alec's contention that the Colt 45 ammunition matched the rounds that killed Helena Hutchinson at the Bonanza Creek Ranch on October 21st. You said you voted he was going to go free? I listen. I just didn't think it was going to be today. Well, okay. So if they hid evidence, what does that say about Hannah Gutierrez Reed? All right, if they hid evidence, what does that say about Hannah Gutierrez Reed? Like, what do we make about that? I don't know, Stereophonics Mom. That's a great question. I mean, I don't know. And by the way, let me put some more hearts over here for Jill. Jill, thank you so much again for gifting memberships. Thank you, thank you. You are awesome. Thank you again, my love. Shout out to you. Thank you for gifting. I'm gonna be looking at her trial too. They might have to revisit that case. That's what I'm saying. So Hannah, there's gonna be an appeal for Hannah. Okay. Brianna says, look, Hannah had one job, keep alive Anna off the set. The ammunition off the set. She couldn't even keep it out of the gun. She's guilty. I never thought of that once. Yeah, but like Brie, like, what do you think about what if they hid evidence in that case? I don't know. That's a great question. Oh my God. Me too, Heidi. Me too. Um, Right, Tiffany? That's the question. I mean, but she's behind bars. I am so like, wow. I don't know what to say. We just went live on this, you guys. Like, what is going on? What happened? What do y'all make of this? He's been like, that's it. There's nothing else to it. I didn't even tell people I was live. I just went live. Y'all, let me know your thoughts. Oh my gosh. I just how do you just wow. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I didn't expect this today. I guess that's the thing. I don't know about you guys. I just didn't expect this today. I think she'd have noticed by now. She refused to testify against him because they would have given her enough time off, didn't she? But if she appealed, they find the same thing. This is wild. But the thing is like, here's the deal. This isn't a situation where like they hid evidence. That's a concern. This is what they determined. This is what it says. They hid evidence. What does that even mean? Like, what exactly? In a stunning turn of events, the judge in ALEC Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter trial dismissed the case, siding with the defense attorneys who argued that prosecutors hid evidence about the ammunition. They hid evidence. Right. What was behind that? Yes, the prosecutors hid evidence, not the defense. And the defense argued with the prosecutors that y'all hid evidence. It is very concerning. So that does kind of make me side-eye, like, this isn't even to dispute whether he shot the gun or not. He shot the gun. But yes, if they hid evidence because there's no case. Or did they have a case? What happened here? I am so like, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me see who else is. I cannot. Here it is. And this is NBC Live right now. Hold up. On this. Hold this. Right back. Well, at least they don't have a fan out. Let me see if we can find out what else is going on here. I cannot believe this. Oh my God. Case against ALEC Baldwin dismissed. Everybody's like wondering what is going on. So, oh my God. Here is News Nation. Hopefully they don't copy strike us. Look at this. They're getting their stuff ready to go from the courtroom. They're done. They're done. They're like, we're done. That is, I have no words. You said you knew it? You knew it? How much money did Baldwin use to pay off the prosecution? Oh my God. You think so? Eat more pizza now. Thank you for the $5. This needs to be a movie. You know what I mean?
Hi,
like
I'm
the
Andy,
craziness
and I'm
of
Sabrina,
this needs to
and
be
we're
a movie.
moms
I
juggling
cannot
tons of stuff
believe
every
this.
day, like all you moms out there.
You
And
think
you know what we
eat
love?
more pizza now? You
Really
think
love
that people were
pop
paid
culture.
off?
So what happens
Jill
when
says,
being
read my last
obsessed
comment.
with pop
Okay, Jill, give
culture
me 1
collides with
second,
being
love.
a
Hold
mom?
up, hold
You
up,
get
hold up.
us. So
I'm
listen
trying.
now
I'm
to
going
our
up.
new podcast.
What is your
Pop
last
Culture
comment,
Moms,
love? Hold
wherever
up.
you get your podcast.
I know we have a smaller chat right now.
I'm Faith Abube in
I worked.
Atlanta. Wherever
Oh,
the
I
story
worked on
is,
TV
we'll
studio.
take you
He
there.
isn't
We're
guilty.
streaming
Really, Jill?
ABC News Live.
Like, tell me more about that. What made do you feel like it was Hannah Gutierrez? Is that what your thoughts
It is
are?
time
Ooh,
now for
it's
our
starting.
weekly
Hold
medical
up.
rundown with ABC News medical contributor and
Can
pediatrician
y'all
at
hear it?
Stanford
Because I do
Children's
not have
Health,
sound.
Dr. Alok Patel. Happy Friday to you, as always. You have got several important stories for us, as you always do. And let's start with some new research out on a potential new pill for weight loss.
Potential new pill for weight loss. Okay, that's not it. No way the prosecution hated the defense. Y'all can hear? You can't hear? You can hear? Okay, my AirPod is dead. Oh my goodness. Y'all, let me know your thoughts. Hold up. Back in the 90s, when Brandon Lee was killed while shooting the crow, no criminal charges were filed, but civil penalties were applied. Don't see this should be treated any differently. Yeah, but the Brandon Lee story is a little bit interesting too. And I mean, the guy that shot the gun, I know he felt guilty for a long, long time. I remember reading about him. I think he died in like 2016, if I remember correctly. So it was a very sad story for sure. But because they hid evidence, I think that's what they said. Hold up. Oh, you worked on Criminal Minds? Ooh. Oh, so you guys are always doing like stunts, or at least when you worked, you were always doing stunts. I am jealous. That was like one of my favorite TV shows. I would have loved to have watched. This is amazing. Hold up. ALEC Baldwin trial. Let's see what everybody says. So it's been dismissed. Hold up. Is this it right here?
In such a way that it has impacted the fundamental fairness of the proceedings. The defense is not in a position to test the state's theory as to the source of the live rounds that killed Ms. Hutchins. I'm also going to take a look at Harper, State versus Harper. The assessment of sanctions depends upon the extent of the government's culpability, weighed against the amount of prejudice to the state, quoting Chenard. Let's go through culpability. Our case law generally provides that the refusal to comply with a district court's discovery order only rises to the level of exclusion or dismissal where the state's conduct is especially culpable, such as where evidence is unilaterally withheld by the state in bad faith, or all access to the evidence is precluded by state intransience. The state is highly culpable for its failure to provide this discovery to the defendant.
Ooh.
The state unilaterally withheld a supplemental report. Santa Fe County Sheriff's Officer made the decision, and apparently also with the prosecutor, as pursuant to Hancock's testimony, that the evidence was of no evidentiary value and failed to connect the evidence to the instant case. The case agent, as well as pursuant to Hancock's testimony, Ms. Morrissey, was aware of the new evidence and yet did not make an effort to disclose it to defense. The state's willful withholding of this information was intentional and deliberate. If this conduct does not rise to the level of bad faith, it certainly comes so near to bad faith as to show signs of scorching. Prejudice. When discovery has been produced late, prejudice does not accrue unless the evidence is material and the disclosure is so late that it undermines the defendant's preparation for trial. The court concludes that this conduct is highly prejudicial to the defendant. The jury has been sworn, jeopardy has attached, and this disclosure during the course of trial is so late that it undermines the defendant's preparation for trial. There is no way for the court to right this wrong. Lesser sanctions under Harper. Trial courts possess broad discretionary authority to decide what sanction to impose when a discovery order is violated. State versus Lemire. The sanction of dismissal is the only warranted remedy. The jury has been sworn, jeopardy has attached, and a mistrial would not be based upon manifest necessity. Further, the sanction of dismissal is warranted in this case. The state has repeatedly made representations to defense and to the court that they were compliant with all their discovery obligations. Despite their repeated representations, they have continued to fail to disclose critical evidence to the defendant.
Oh my God.
Brady and Harper are satisfied. Dismissal with prejudice is warranted. Court also has power, inherent power. Per State versus Lemire, where discovery violations inject needless delay into the proceedings, courts may impose meaningful sanctions to effectuate their inherent power and promote efficient judicial administration. The state's discovery violation has injected a needless, incurable delay into the instant jury trial. Dismissal with prejudice is warranted to ensure the integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted.
Oh,
now,
wow.
with respect to the jury, I don't imagine you all want to return on Monday. I will take care of the jury.
Thank you.
We are in recess.
Court's decision.
Oh my God.
It's just 30 seconds and talk to us.
But you guys decided to separate it. It had separate pieces. So you did know. You heard my testimony today, right?
Excuse us.
Okay. So my testimony is what I stand.
Give her a little space.
Testimony is what I stand on.
Back up, guys. Please. How did you feel about the defense?
No more.
What happened?
Was she like hiding in trees? Where is she going? Lord have mercy. Like, oh my God.
I got it.
This is insane. Look at all that media. This trial was supposed to last like 8 days. I think it only made it to 4, if not. Brianna, thank you for being a member for 11 months. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you, love. This is crazy. Heidi says, I'm sick to my stomach. Heidi, thank you for being a member for 7 months. Shout out to you. It feels like it was like 3 days, right, Becky? It didn't even feel like it was that long. Yep. Because you already know the reality TV show. This is going to be perfect for reality TV, you guys. And that's what he's filming right now. It was probably Jill. It was Jill. Put a heart in the chat for Jill. Thank you, Jill, again. That is crazy. Listen. They're just doing cameras in the media. There he goes. There's Hilaria.
How do you feel about
Quick word, sir.
Hilaria, how do you feel about this dismissal? Elizabeth, Robert, any words on the dismissal?
She can't help it. She loves that camera.
Alex, Luke, any words on the dismissal?
Mr. Baldwin, a quick word, please. All right. That is defense team too, or just
Yes, everybody. Family and defense.
Are you kidding? Who is this one for?
I know Jimena, right?
She pushes past.
Then you can grab it.
I'm gonna hold it up there.
Well, you're gonna be.
Yeah. Just take it off. Keep it there. Take it off the sticks if she starts.
There is no reason to believe that the evidence that we discussed in court today was related to the set of Rust. It never left the state of Arizona. I understand that the court disagrees with me, and I respect the court's decision. There is absolutely no evidence that any of that ammunition is related to the incident involving Ms. Hutchins.
So the judge is wrong?
No, I said that I respect the court's decision. I think that people can disagree. I'm disappointed because I believe that the importance of the evidence was misconstrued by the defense attorneys, but I have to respect the court's decision.
Do you feel you let the Hutchins family down?
Do you regret not turning over the ammunition?
Well, I didn't know that the ammunition that became the subject of today's hearing existed.
Do you still believe Mr. Baldwin was guilty?
That has never been a decision for me. That has always been a decision for the jury.
Did you let the Hutchins family down?
No, we didn't. We did everything humanly possible to.
Let me stop right here because they're playing reruns. That is crazy. Brianna says, I'd like to point out that in this world where everyone screams about justice system being corrupt top to bottom, this is what unethical, dishonest prosecutors actually look like. It's blatant. Thank you so much for the $9.99. I don't know what. So what is she saying? Is she saying that did the judge lie? She's like, oh no, I'm not saying that. So the judge is wrong. I respect the court's decision. What do you mean? You could say that the court got it wrong. You could say that. It's up to the court. She disagrees with the judge. I just feel like she's off on here, but let me keep playing this, all right? Oh my God.
Extreme sanction.
It's just playing on a loop.
Case law is very clear that because it's very extreme, I have to go through every single element, and I have to make a very good record as to why I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So in order to establish a Brady violation, the defendant must show that the prosecution suppressed evidence.
So wait a minute. So here's the problem that I have with that, though. Naptural says the person who caused the death is serving her prison sentence. If they suppress, or okay, if they hid evidence, how do we know it didn't happen in that case? That's kind of where my mind goes. Like if they were willing to do it in this case, what about the other case? I have to ask. Because now I'm side-eyeing.
The evidence was favorable to the accused, and the evidence was material to the defense. So let's go through the elements. Suppression of evidence. The definition of suppression of elements, this is Case versus Hatch, is while the first element requires proof that the prosecution suppressed or withheld the evidence in question, it does not require a finding of bad faith or any other culpable state of mind on the part of the prosecutor. This prong is satisfied. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office and the prosecution failed to disclose the supplemental report to defense and provide defense an opportunity to inspect the rounds collected into evidence that Mr. Teskey gave. Is the evidence favorable to the accused? The second Brady element is whether the suppressed evidence was favorable to the accused, either as impeachment or exculpatory evidence. This prong is satisfied. The suppressed evidence is favorable to the accused. It is impeachment evidence, has even been offered in this trial as impeachment evidence, and is potentially exculpatory to the defense. Critically, the exculpatory value cannot be analyzed at such a late juncture because of the non-disclosure. Is the evidence material? While post-trial discovery of evidence under Brady requires a reasonable probability that the result of the proceeding would have been different, discovery of evidence during trial requires an evaluation of whether the late tender has impeded the effective use of evidence in such a way that it impacts the fundamental fairness of the proceedings. And that is State versus Huerta Castro. This evidence is material. The late discovery of this evidence during trial has impeded the effective use of evidence in such a way that it has impacted the fundamental fairness of the proceedings. The defense is not in a position to test the state's theory as to the source of the live rounds that killed Ms. Hutchins. I'm also going to take a look at Harper, State versus Harper. The assessment of sanctions depends upon the extent of the government's culpability, weighed against the amount of prejudice to the state, quoting Chenard. Let's go through culpability. Our case law generally provides that the refusal to comply with a district court's discovery order only rises to the level of exclusion or dismissal where the state's conduct is especially culpable, such as where evidence is unilaterally withheld by the state in bad faith, or all access to the evidence is precluded by state intransience. The state is highly culpable for its failure to provide this discovery to the defendant. The state unilaterally withheld a supplemental report. Santa Fe County Sheriff's Officer made the decision.
Sherry. You know what, Sherry? I love everybody coming through where they have differences of opinions. Your truth or your opinion isn't always fact. It's an opinion. Everybody's got one, including myself. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. So for Sherry to say, let's be honest, we can't even say the truth on this platform, then why the hell aren't you over there, somewhere over there in a different platform? Like, who invited you? Girl, it is Friday. And you over here trying to come over here, start shit with people, and we don't even know you. Goodbye. 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 Thank you. And goodbye. Okay, let's keep watching this.
And apparently also with the prosecutor, pursuant to Hancock's testimony, that the evidence was of no evidentiary value and failed to connect the evidence to the instant case. The case agent, as well as pursuant to Hancock's testimony, Ms. Morrissey, was aware of the new evidence and yet did not make an effort to disclose it to defense. The state's willful withholding of this information was intentional and deliberate. If this conduct does not rise to the level of bad faith, it certainly comes so near to bad faith as to show signs of scorching. Prejudice. When discovery has been produced late, prejudice does not accrue unless the evidence is material and the disclosure is so late that it undermines the defendant's preparation for trial. The court concludes that this conduct is highly prejudicial to the defendant. The jury has been sworn, jeopardy has attached, and this disclosure during the course of trial is so late that it undermines the defendant's preparation for trial. There is no way for the court to right this wrong.
Wow.
Lesser sanctions under Harper. Trial courts possess broad discretionary authority to decide what sanction to impose when a discovery order is violated. State versus Lemire. The sanction of dismissal is the only warranted remedy. The jury has been sworn, jeopardy has attached, and a mistrial would not be based upon manifest necessity. Further, the sanction of dismissal is warranted in this case. The state has repeatedly made representations to defense and to the court that they were compliant with all their discovery obligations. Despite their repeated representations, they have continued to fail to disclose critical evidence to the defendant. Brady.
So the way she's putting this is like they've repeatedly failed to disclose evidence, right? And that is like, this is somebody's life, right? I get the celebrity part, and I do personally feel like we said this before, we thought he was going to get acquitted, or he was going to something was going to happen. Did we not say this maybe 2 hours ago when I was live and we talked a little bit about this? That's how we saw it. Now, just my opinion. I think that this was a horrible accident. And at the end of the day, nobody really wins here, right? Family are the victims here. Family. Nothing. No, there is no winning in this situation. So personally, I just think that what do we make of this? And I also now kind of question Hannah Gutierrez Reed's trial as well. It's awful. It's awful for the family, Glow. Honestly, it's awful for the family. But if the prosecution hid evidence, that's also awful too, because it does make me feel some type of way about it. And like I said, when I came into this, and I said it on my other lives, I said, I honestly feel like he should be held accountable because he was negligent. I continue to feel that opinion. That's how I see this. But that's my opinion. Y'all can have your opinion. But we also did say, at least I did say, that somebody was going to go free, or there was going to be an acquittal, because I didn't see him going behind bars. I don't know what it was. It is embarrassing for the prosecution, but there needs to be some kind of looked into or sanction of some sort, because you don't get to do this. This is costing money also to the taxpayers of that community, right? And also the family of the victim. Okay, nobody really wins in this situation. ALEC Baldwin, I don't know if he'll be able to recover from this. I'm going to be quite honest, because he hasn't been able to recover from a lot. Now, you have this reality TV star show that is aligning itself right around the time that this is happening. I do kind of side-eye that piece, and it makes me wonder. Yeah, shame on the prosecution. I think they need to be looked it needs to be looked at. Nobody wins. Thank you. You said it won't affect Hannah's case because her defense did the option to use evidence and said they didn't want it. Gotcha, beautiful messy ball. Well, there you go. Yes, Alabama mama, thank you for being here. And I'm sorry, y'all. I know I did flip on over here, Miss Sherry, but I hate it when people come over here and then they start spewing some bullshit. And the truth isn't told on this platform. Okay, because I don't side with you, because I don't give you the spotlight. Get out of here. I don't, it is what it is. SP Safe Person, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you. But you guys know how I am. And it's Friday, okay? It's a lot going on. Pika says, you should see the prosecution called herself to the stand and was cross-examined by the defense as well. Right before this, it was a hot-ass mess. Really? All right, well, let me pull that. I got a couple minutes here. Let's see if we can pull it. I don't know if I have a... Hold up, let's see. I heard about this too. Somebody was saying in the comments at the ALEC Baldwin trial. Somebody was saying in the comments that she was a hot ass mess. And it's the same lady that's giving the, I don't agree with the judge, yada, 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 this and that and the other. Here it is. This might be it. No, I don't think so. Is this it?
When someone plays make-believe with a real gun in a real-life workplace, and while playing make-believe with that...
This hurt? No, this is old. This isn't recent. I'm gonna have to look for it. Hold up. Let me see what you guys are saying. Never heard of a yeah, that was weird because I never heard of that either, right? I need the lawyer to, I know, right? Get the lawyer to, shout out to all the lawyers on YouTube. Shout out to all the lawyers on YouTube. Really? Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to have to go watch. Now, I will say this. I really do hope that they don't move forward with releasing. Did they, I don't know if they finish Rust. Did they ever finish them? I don't think that they did. But I really hope that they don't go forward, doing that movie, releasing it, and then giving the in memory of Helena Hutchinson, because that would be weird and it wouldn't sit right. But you know how like when castmates or stunt people die in the production and the set, they do a little like end of the video and they say something to the effect of in memory of X, Y, and Z or something like that. I hope they don't do that. Okay, you just looked it up. It's posted in its post-productions. Really? The gun prop guy is a girl. Her name is Helena Hutchinson. Or excuse me, Hannah Gutierrez. Why am I? There's just so many H's. Let me back up a little bit. Helena Hutchinson is the victim of this situation. Hannah Gutierrez Reed is the armorer. Okay. Alec Baldwin is the other person. And then Hilaria is the wife. This is why the H's are like getting to me all over the place. They did finish the movie and Helena's husband as a producer. It was part of the civil. Oh, wow. See, I didn't know that. They're going to release it. I know. That's why I'm like, Moonbeam, and please excuse me. I'm trying to like not say all the H's, but there is a lot of H's in all the names and it just messes me up. You said Helena husband might want it out. I just don't think it's a good idea. Did they, when they did The Crow, and I mean, The Crow is a whole different story than this case, right? Please note that. So you can't really compare it. But when they did The Crow, did they ever release the last scene or that whole situation with Brandon Lee? I don't remember. I feel like they stopped filming after that and they might have done like sequels and other people played, the character. I don't know. Seems from the beginning that the prosecution wanted to make this case their great achievement, yet doing it for the wrong reasons. Well, if they're hiding evidence, girl, that's not at all. That doesn't serve anybody correctly. You know what I mean? Like none of that is okay. Attorneys of record being a witness in cases should never happen. Yeah, why was the attorney a witness? He gave the rights to the widower and he wanted to finish it. Really? I don't know. It just seems so weird. Like, out of respect, if that's what the husband wants, but it just seems so off, you guys. That none of that sits well with me. Maybe I'm just, thinking of it a little too harshly or whatever, but I don't think that's a good idea. That's just my thought on that. Hiding evidence and getting caught hiding evidence and blatantly being late submitting, it says everything. Yeah, why? But why did she do that? What was the point of that? Okay, Liberty now says Hutchinson's hubby said that she would have wanted her work seen. Oh, well, Scotty Beans, thank you for being here. Shout out to you. Thank you. Prosecutor was paid. Kim, you're not letting this go. You say the prosecutor was paid? Oh, girl. You think so? Oh, my goodness. You think the family's going to get some royalties out of this? I'm a seahorse. I think so. I think did they or did they not have a case? Because some folks were saying like they should have never, they should have never gotten to court, which is fine if that's what y'all feel. So they did, when Brandon Lee died, they finished the movie. They did destroy the footage where Brandon Lee was killed and completed the film with the double agent. Excuse me, not the double agent, the body double. His mother and fiance did sue the production company, but they settled the case and released the film. I need to find it, Pat. Do you know where it's at? Because I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh, let me see if I can find it this way. Prosecutor takes stand on Alec Baldwin. Okay, let's do this. Maybe this is it right here. Baldwin faces hard evidence. Prosecutors accused of lying on him. This might be it, but it's 10 hours. Is there a shorter clip? Lord have mercy. Hold up. Let's see this. This is 10 hours.
Which is really a civil law concept. But there is a level of different responsibilities here. And so
with the rest of the evidence in the
Is this it right here? Let me know.
I'm not sure what you mean by the word voucher.
How come you didn't inventory it and put it with all the rest of the evidence in the Rust case?
I was instructed to put this in as a doc information case, which I did, and is under that case number.
Pat.
You buried it?
No.
Your lieutenant?
There is a supplemental report on it, and that was placed into evidence.
Did you ever turn that over to the defense?
I have not turned over anything to the defense. My information goes through the sheriff's office.
Are you aware of whether the sheriff's office ever informed the defense that a good Samaritan came in and turned in his ammunition?
I do not know.
Hold up.
When the defense came to view the Starline brass, nickel, primer, live ammunition with you, you didn't show them this, did you?
I did not have an evidence viewing with the defense. That was my coworker.
Your coworker didn't show this to the defense, correct?
I do not know.
Do you have any reason to believe your coworker showed this to the defense, given that it wasn't put in the same inventory as the Rust case?
No.
That were said to be inside the church at the time of the incident, or members that assisted with the armor.
Why was it necessary to have two detectives doing interviews at the same time?
Because of how many people were involved.
Okay.
I'm going to try to find it.
And have you continued to be the primary investigator with the Sheriff's Department on this case since 2 weeks after the incident?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not here, and this was 10
needs to
hours
be in for
ago.
that reason. Which motion
It
was
is wild.
Your Honor, it was Oliver Pavilion.
Thank you, B. Tim, for being a member for 18 months. Shout out to B. Tim. Thank you for being here. This is wild. Go a little further, you said? Okay. How much further? This further? Pat, I'm waiting for you to tell me. You got to type it up in the chat. You don't know how to share the link with me? Well, I'll tell you, you can email it to me. This is my email. I got a couple minutes, guys. So this is my email if you want to share it with me. You said go to where the judge is reading and go backwards from there. Okay. Because this is, well, and it might not be on this video then. Hold up.
Were similar to Hannah Gutierrez reads consequences. So I texted him, I watched it live on your programming and texted him, and all I know is that I got a bunch of thank you, but he was so grateful.
Yeah, I want to be careful because I don't know if they'll strike me, but I want to be very careful. That was a day ago, 23 hours ago. That was 23 hours ago. What happened? Hold up. So I heard that okay. Oh, Lord. They're making me pay for all kinds of things right now. Okay. You'll tell me the timestamp? And it's for today, correct? Video. ALEC.
Dismissal with prejudice is a very extreme sanction. And case law is very clear that because it's very extreme, I have to go through every single element, find it. And I have to make a very good record as to why I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So in order to establish a Brady violation, the defendant must show that the prosecution suppressed evidence, the evidence was favorable to the accused, and the evidence was material to the defense. So let's go through the elements. Suppression of evidence. The definition of suppression of elements, this is Case versus Hatches, while the first element requires proof that the prosecution suppressed or withheld the evidence in question, it does not require a finding of bad faith or any other culpable state of mind on the part of the prosecutor. This prong is satisfied. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office and the prosecution failed to disclose the supplemental report to defense and provide defense an opportunity to inspect the rounds collected into evidence that Mr. Test. Do you want to call yourself as a witness? No, well, just a minute.
I found it. Thank you, Pat.
As I understand it, to rest now. Okay? Now, you don't have to say anything under oath if you don't want to.
No, I'm happy to.
Okay.
These are rounds that never left Arizona. They were always in the possession of Thel Reed and Troy Teskey. They never went to Texas. They never came to New Mexico. That's what all of the evidence indicated. So I understood that Detective Hancock had communication with Mr. Teskey about trying to get those rounds, and Detective Hancock was unable to get those rounds from Mr. Teskey. I did not find that particularly concerning because those rounds had never left Arizona. The filming of Rust was in the state of New Mexico. And the rounds that were taken from PDQ went from Arizona to Texas to Albuquerque. So ammunition that is in the state of Arizona that has never left Arizona did not strike me that it had significant evidentiary value. Then, and I will say, I believe I actually saw a photo of it. At that point in time, I was able to look at the ammunition myself, and it was visibly dissimilar than the rounds from the set of Rust. We then cut to November of 2023. Mr. Bowles has put Mr. Teskey on a witness list for the Hannah Gutierrez case. We conducted a pretrial interview with Mr. Teskey on November 2nd of 2023. At that point in time, he brought up that he was still in possession of these live rounds that were Thel Reed's live rounds that had never left the state of Arizona. I then, when he started, I think he indicated during the pretrial interview that they were from the same batch that was sourced from Joe Swanson. And I then said, we should get those from you.
I think
I had a conversation with Detective Hancock after that pretrial interview about how we could get the rounds from Mr. Teskey. And we were trying to figure out if we could send a local law enforcement agency to pick them up. I was then decided that I needed to figure out if that was necessary since they had never left Arizona. And up to that point, it was my impression that they did not match the live rounds from the set of Rust. I then, as I recall, reached out to Mr. Bowles. He and I had a conversation about whether or not the rounds should be tested by the FBI. And I was still trying to figure out if I could get the rounds from Arizona to New Mexico. So I asked Mr. Bowles to please send me a photograph of the rounds from Troy Teskey so that I could see with my eyes whether they were even remotely similar. If they were similar, I could go through the steps of obtaining the ammunition, connecting probably with local law enforcement, having a local law enforcement agency go to Mr. Teskey's residence. And
hold on, let me stop right here. The words, I think, probably, like, what is going on here? Brianna, thank you so much for the $4.99. Says a prosecutor putting herself on the stand during her own prosecution is not a good look. She wanted the glory. This is what she got. Thank you so much for the $4.99. B Tim says, way to dig yourself deeper into a hole, a rabbit hole that is. Oh my God. All right. Let's keep watching it.
Collect them. I didn't want to do that if they didn't look anything like the rounds from the set of Rust, because all 6 rounds from the set of Rust are identical to each other. So when I had this conversation with Mr. Bowles, he provided me the photograph that I showed this morning. And this is it was my understanding that this was a photograph from Troy Teskey. So Troy and I don't communicate. He's a defense witness. I can't communicate with a defense witness. So Mr. Bowles, as I recall, texted me this photo, and this is a photo that Mr. Teskey took at my request so that I could determine whether this ammunition was related in any way to the set of Rust, because it never left the state of Arizona. So if it never left the state of Arizona, the only way that it is relevant to the Rust investigation is if it has any similarity to the live rounds that were found on the set of Rust, because we were at that point trying to figure out the source of the live rounds. When I received this photograph from Mr. Bowles, I could immediately tell that these are very dissimilar from the live rounds that were found on the set of Rust. They have brass primers. So this is what was presented to the prosecution as the rounds that were in Mr. Teskey's possession. They have brass primers.
So is she now like an expert at this? Why is she doing this? B. Tim, thank you so much for the $10. So am I getting this straight? She didn't turn over evidence or let the other side know because she deemed it unrelatable. That's what I'm picking up. And when found out, she went on the stand and dug herself a deeper hole. And how do you know from a photo? Why aren't you like, oh my. 2024 is fucking wild. B Tim, thank you for the $10. Shout out to B Tim. Thank you so much. Am I understanding? Listen, I don't have to be an expert of it. Like if I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, you have got to be kidding me.
Primers and not silver primers. One of them, the one on the left, appears to be a Starline brass casing, but they have truncated cone projectiles. We had seen ammunition that looked exactly like this, not exactly, but very, very similar. And that ammunition was the ammunition that was collected from the sheriff's department and went to the FBI for testing and was determined not to be similar in any way to the live rounds on the set of Rust.
How does she know this?
So when I saw this photograph, I could see that it was not at all similar to the live rounds on the set of Rust.
I have to speed her up, guys.
And I decided not to take any steps to collect this ammunition because it was in Arizona, had never come to New Mexico, and didn't match the live rounds on the set of Rust.
Because she's an idiot.
So what ends up happening is Mr. Teskey is called to New Mexico by Mr. Bowles to testify at the Gutierrez trial. And you can hear on the video that the court heard Mr. Teskey say, the defense attorney, that's not me, asked him to bring samples of that ammunition.
The defense attorney, that's not me. No shit, Sherlock. I'm sorry. Like, are we really watching this? So instead of taking it to the lab for testing, she decided this all based on photos. So we're convicting this man based on photos? based on the eyewitness testimony of this prosecutor who didn't turn this shit in when she would need it to? Oh my God. All right, let me keep watching. I have to speed her up, guys, because I got to go. But like, honestly, this is too much.
According to Mr. Teskey, he brought the samples of the ammunition, showed them to the defense attorney, and the defense attorney said, I don't want those. I'm not going to use those. And by the way, I'm not going to call you as a witness. So Mr. Teskey sat in court during the trial, and then at some point contacted the deputies downstairs and said, I have this ammunition. So he tried to give it to the defense attorney, who's the person who asked him to bring it. The defense attorney said no. And he then tried to get a hold of Detective Hancock, who was not available because she was with me. So then he ends up going to the sheriff's department, and he leaves the ammunition at the sheriff's department. I was contacted, I don't think it was the same day, but I'm not 100% sure. It's possible that it was, by Detective Hancock, and she indicated that Troy Teskey had dropped off ammunition at the sheriff's department. Because I had already asked for a photograph of it, I believed that that ammunition was going to look like the photograph that Mr. Bowles had sent me. Corporal Hancock indicated that she was going to tag them into evidence, and she was going to create what she called a doc report. And I said, great, do that. I was not aware at that point in time that a doc report would not have the same case number as Rust. I was not aware at that point in time that it would not be linked to the Rust case number. I understood that he had dropped off ammunition that I believed to not look similar to the ammunition from the set of Rust. And I had no idea that it wasn't going to have the same case number.
I don't know what to say.
When Mr. Teskey showed up to testify with the ammunition that Mr. Bowles told him to bring to the state of New Mexico, he was not called as a witness, and Mr. Bowles said, I'm not taking that ammunition from you. That's why. Because these are photographs from Hannah Gutierrez's cell phone extraction, and they show spot-on match for the live rounds found on the set of Rust. This is clearly the reason that Mr. Bowles said, you and your ammunition better get out of here, because it would not have hurt the case, the state's case against Hannah Gutierrez. It would have been the best evidence I could have hoped for.
Oh, she thinks she's eating. Let me just stop. Oh my God. Brianna, thank you so much. The more info that rolls in, the less likely I think Hannah is to be released. The exculpatory evidence they hid implicates her further. I don't think she'll get out, but we'll see. Thank you so much for the $9.99, my love. Thank you. And then B Tim, thank you for the $5. Be ready for ALEC to sue the state. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Be ready for ALEC Baldwin to sue the state for malicious prosecution. Thanks for losing more of our tax dollars, lady. This is what? Shout out to Pat and shout out to everybody. Shout out to Pika and everybody who was telling me to look at this. Oh my God. I got a couple minutes and then I got to get out. But like, oh my God. See, in this BTIM, if I was ALEC Baldwin, I probably would be suing too. Come on now. Like, more money. More money.
These look exactly like the ammunition, the actual ammunition that we have in evidence. And they do look like the 3 rounds that are in that envelope. So when Mr. Teskey couldn't get Mr. Bowles to take them because they were the best evidence against his client, he took them over to the sheriff's department. And when he dropped them at the sheriff's department, I was told that there was going to be a report. There was a report. I assumed they looked like these. And Detective Hancock indicated to me that because he dropped them off and he didn't wait for her, she was then going to try to follow up with him, take a statement from him so that we could get some idea where they came from, what the relevance was, if there was any relevance at all. And he never returned her phone calls. And that's all of the information that I can give the court, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Here we go. Here we go. Defense is coming. Let's go.
Can I ask a few questions, Ron? When you took over this case, the investigator handling the case, Mr. Schilling, left the case, correct?
At my request, yes.
The paralegal that was handling this case with you left the case, Mr. Todd?
At my request, yes.
Well, the first prosecutor that was working with you on this case, you selected, correct?
I did.
And he resigned too?
I wouldn't say that he resigned, no.
Okay. He didn't stay on the case for the ALEC Baldwin trial, correct?
No, and he indicated that that was because he represented a labor union that's a national labor union, and he was not expecting the trial to be set so quickly. He wasn't expecting it to be set in July. So when he realized that the trial was going to be set in July, he was going to be in collective bargaining agreements for his national labor union, and he wasn't going to be able to have enough time.
Erlinda Johnson, the next prosecutor selected, resigned from the case today,
She did.
based in part on the conduct we're here discussing, correct?
I believe that Ms. Johnson Ms. Johnson didn't want my understanding is that she didn't agree with the decision to have a public hearing.
On July 1st in this matter, you served a certificate of compliance with 5501, correct?
I did.
And you've never turned over the report or any of the evidence that we're talking about here at this hearing, correct?
Let's take it one at a time. I did not turn over the report. I didn't have a copy of the report. The rounds that were left at the Sheriff's Department by Troy Teskey, I have absolutely no reason to believe that they are relevant to the incident that took place on the set of Rust. These are rounds that were in the possession of Bell Reed and never left the state of Arizona.
You also did not allow the defense to view that evidence at any point during our request to review evidence in this case.
I had never seen it, and I didn't realize that it wasn't under the same case number because I'm not a law enforcement officer and I don't work at the Sheriff's Department. But you are right.
And you concede that they are Starline brass, silver 45, right?
I can. And this is the best evidence against Hannah Gutierrez.
Yeah, you said that a couple of times. Any favorable evidence you understand as a prosecutor has to be turned over to the defense, correct?
I do.
Any evidence that could be used as a defense to potentially be favorable has to be turned over to the defense.
Absolutely.
So the third Hague report that never got turned over to the defense, you understand that that's Brady evidence?
I did, yes.
Okay. And you also failed to turn that over in this case as well, correct?
And let me give you a full answer to your question. When the second Hague report came in, and I provided all of this to the defense, I sent it to the person who is managing the discovery server and asked them to upload it. It wasn't until I realized during pretrial interviews that it wasn't there, that there was a problem with it. So I then attempted to figure out what the problem was, and it was indicated to me that it appeared that the former paralegal who was working for the special prosecutor had removed it. So we then immediately provided it. Then during the pretrial interview of Mr. Hague, it was brought to my attention that the defense did not have the August 31st report.
Where does the buck stop? Are you fucking kidding me?
It indicated that the gun functioned fine, perfectly fine, and that was provided immediately. I went back, I checked my email, I could see that I received it from Mr. Hague and failed to forward it on to be uploaded. And I provided it as soon as I was aware that you did not have it.
Oh my.
The fact that nobody at the Hannah Gutierrez retrial cross-examined Mr. Hague about the report didn't clue you into the fact that nobody had the report?
Actually, it didn't, and I'd like to address that. The reason that it didn't clue me in is because Hannah Gutierrez's defense was that the gun worked perfectly. The defense in Hannah Gutierrez was never interested in any evidence that there was an issue with the gun, because if there was an issue with the gun, it damaged her case. So what you could see, if you watched the trial or saw any of the transcripts, the defense actually brought in their own expert to say that the gun worked perfectly. So they had no interest in that information.
Answer the fucking
question. And actually, you elicited testimony from Mr. Hague at that trial that was inconsistent, at least partially inconsistent, as the court's aware, with his third report, correct?
Tell me what you're referring to, and I'll answer your question.
Well, there was a whole hearing about this where you saw this, and you saw me go back and forth with Mr. Hague for 25 minutes.
I cannot.
I agree, but I need to know what you're talking about for me to answer your question.
Okay, if you can't answer the question, you can't answer the question. I'll move on.
I'm happy to, but
you say that the extent of the communications you have about the doc report, as you relay it to the court, is that all you said in response was, "Great, do that." That's your testimony?
Yeah, I assumed that it was going to be tied to the same case number. So I said, "Great, do it, file a report."
No follow-up questions?
No, because I had a picture of the ammunition that didn't match the ammunition from the set of Rust.
No concerns in your mind when you got the case file and you turned it over to us that it wasn't included?
Absolutely not. There's a terabyte of discovery. I didn't know whether this 2-page police report had been provided. And in addition to that, I had no reason to believe, and still have no reason to believe, that those rounds have anything to do with these cases.
As I asked you about Mr. Hague yesterday when Ms. Popple testified, you would agree with me that her testimony under oath was false.
What part of her testimony was false? And I'll answer.
That she said that these rounds don't look anything like the rounds on the set when you elicited that testimony.
I agree with you, and I didn't realize that there were rounds that looked like that.
It's okay. In any event, when the court, and you never tested those rounds either, correct?
Any of the rounds that came from Mr. Teskey? No, because they came in just a few months ago.
And the court asked you actually one question that I want to address, which is the court said to you, well, what's interesting to me, to be quite honest, is that yesterday you didn't even want to do a written reply. You wanted to just give an oral response. And what you said to the court was, I never saw these, I've never seen these, and I never saw the report. I have absolutely never seen these until this morning. Do you remember saying that to the court?
With regard to the 3 Starline brass, with regard to the 3 cartridges that appear to be similar to Rust, yes.
Well,
I never saw them until today.
Well, but you said also, I never saw the report, right?
I never did.
Right, but don't you think, given your duty of candor to this court, that that's awfully misleading to not tell the court at that point that you knew about this when it occurred long ago?
that I.
Oh my God. Okay, so she never saw the report. It's often misleading. She lied to the fucking court. I'm sorry, y'all. Now I'm cussing because this is not a game. Okay, like this is ridiculous. And you know what? Like honestly, what else don't we know? What else don't we know? Yeah, you can't see things you don't look at. You're not an ammunition expert. I can thank you, Kim. I have Kim's blessing. I'm sorry, y'all. I have lost it. Let me keep playing this because I got a couple minutes and then I gotta go. But like honestly, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And it's Friday.
You knew about what?
You knew that Mr. Teskey had turned in this evidence, that you knew that the report would have existed because you just told this court that the doc report was okayed by you.
Sure.
Don't you think it was misleading to this court to not just say at that point, just so you know, I know about this. I knew about this then. I was involved.
I did not intend to mislead the court. My understanding of what was dropped off at the sheriff's department is on this computer screen, and it looks absolutely nothing like the live rounds from the set of Rust.
The truth of this matter is, you don't like Mr. Baldwin very much, do you?
That is absolutely untrue. I actually really appreciate Mr. Baldwin's movies. I really appreciated the acting that he did on Saturday Night Live, and I really appreciate his politics.
You really like that Trump impersonation? I'm fucking dead. I really appreciated his movies. I watch all 25 of them. I am done. No. Pat, why you make me watch this now? Bree Hannah, thank you so much for the $4.99. She said, if she's elected, she needs to be recalled, prosecuted, and disbarred. Her legal career needs to be over. I knew you. I just cannot. She said, I like all of his movies. Keep going. No, don't make me keep going. All right, let me keep watching.
You told one of the witnesses who disagreed with you during an interview that you thought Mr. Baldwin was a cocksucker.
I do not recall saying that. I know that that was something that Mr. Baldwin would say on the set of Rust. I don't recall saying that.
Do you deny that under oath?
Without having more information, I can tell you that I do not recall ever saying that. And if I did say it, I invite you to point it out to me.
You called him an arrogant prick to another witness.
To who? To what witness?
I'm asking you, did you call him an arrogant prick during the witness interview?
I don't believe I did. I don't recall.
You deny that?
Without knowing what you're talking about? All I can tell you is that I can't respond if I don't know what you're talking about.
I think he's an arrogant prick. Okay, let's keep watching.
And you said also to witnesses that you would teach him a lesson.
I never said to witnesses that I would teach him a lesson. Absolutely not. In fact, Mr. Spyro, I want to give a full response to your question. I made every effort in this case to resolve this case with your client in a very favorable way for him.
All right, I'm going to move distracted. It's not responsive.
It is responsive.
I don't want to talk about plea negotiations.
Yeah, and it's not responsive. So I have no further
Do you have any follow-up testimony?
I want to say I have no recollection of calling him any of those names. I have invited the defendant to tell me what he's talking about, and he has declined. I want the court to take notice of that.
Listen, facts ain't defamation, okay? Fact, he's an arrogant prick. Period. Night Charm's like, I cannot.
Thank you. You may step down. All right, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, she's mad.
15 minutes aside sufficient?
I don't even think that.
All right, are we done?
You want to make argument?
Pat, is it still going? I have to head out, y'all. He looks
so bad. Dismissal with prejudice is a very extreme sanction.
Oh, this is what you read the verdict.
Case law is very clear that because it's very extreme, I have to go through every single element.
Let me stop right there because I do have to head out. Y'all, this is like done. Pat's like, you're done, Rabbit. You're done. This is that was, I don't know what to say. I have no more to give. Wim's throwing up. Oh my God. I cannot believe they added that arrogant prick at the very end. Facts ain't defamation. Y'all remember that. I don't know what to say. Listen, happy Friday, y'all. I got to get out of here. First of all, thank you so much for letting me watch this. Y'all just had my reaction. You blame Aaron, apparently. You blame Aaron. I don't know what to say, but I understand why it was dismissed. So, they're going to do what they're going to do. I get it. Now, I don't know. Thank you, Pat. I cannot. Y'all, you guys are awesome. I got to head out. You guys have a great day, great night. Bye, guys. Thank you. And shout out to everybody in the chat who gifted and super chatted. You guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting my channel. I'm out of here. I got to go tend to baby bunny, and it's Friday. And I will, I don't know, like I'm still reacting to everything that is happening today. Bye, guys.